Hello, my name is Stephen and welcome to Chess for Beginners. Today we're going to talk about the most important piece, the king. So, the king can move one step in any direction you like. What it can't do is move onto a square that's threatened by my opponent. So this would be an illegal move because my opponent's queen is threatening that square in a diagonal direction, and the king would be in check if he moved there, and he's not allowed to do that. So the king can move one square at a time, but there's one exception to that, and it's called castling. And I'll show you how that works now. You don't have to do it, but it is a good way of putting your king in a good defensive position. And there are a few rules surrounding it, so we'll go through those now. Now, to castle, the squares between the king and the rook have to be empty, and you can't move your king or your rook. So the king moves 2 steps towards the rook, and the rook goes on the other side of the king. And you can't castle if the king is in check. So in this case, the queen is placing the king in check, so he can't castle. And he can't move through a square that's in check either. You can also castle on the queen's side. So again, the pieces in between the king and the rook have to be off their squares. You can't move the king, can't move the rook. The king moves 2 squares towards the rook, and you place the rook on the other side of the king.